Can we rewatch podcast? We are back. It is the last episodes for us, Scrim 9 and 10 of this
Finally
challenge.
made it.
Can we rewatch the challenge? Season 20 of the challenge, episodes 9 and 10. We're here to review, and it's been a good season. I've come around. We got the Johnny backpack. We got all of that. So that's really good. CT came, but we got a snippet of CT. Derek's been fighting hard. Abe has been great leadership. Brad, not so much, but they're running the game with Tori. So all of those things are kind of coming into one as we get ready for this final. But we're an episode away from that. I thought so. Start of episode 9. We see, and this is the Can We Rewatch podcast. You're here with Media Markus and Scrim, but we see the gray team and the blue team sort of talking about maybe trying to work together. The blue team only has 3 people left, and the gray team wants to get rid of Cara Maria, or at least Sarah and Laurel does. So, what did you think of that strategy of trying to work together?
Yeah, I mean, I think Sarah and I'm just shocked at how invested Sarah is on this plan. They want to get rid of not only want to get Maria, but they want to get Luke out of there too. So they want to get rid of both of them. Obviously, from the blue team's perspective, they're on numbers, right? So any opportunity to someone throw them a bone, they're not going to be opposed to it. So Jen's having a conversation with them. And then at the exact same time, we see the red team imploding, right? They have that little argument. Johnny, not Johnny, but Brad, Paula, Dunbar, and even Tori. They have a powwow and they're arguing back and forth. So this is a great opportunity for the blue team and the gray team to work together. And Laura's been really upset. She's been upset for 2 episodes now for being thrown into elimination. Also, she's been consistently plotting, and she's threatened to throw the previous challenge. So, and her response was she doesn't have it in her to throw it. So we'll see.
Yeah, my biggest issue with this is if you throw this challenge, you don't have the votes. So what does it matter? Like you're gonna go right back in, Laurel or Sarah is. So I don't think it's a good plan at all to help the blue team. In fact, you probably should work with the red team to get the blue team out first, and then make it even from there. So just this is a game of numbers, and they don't have the numbers here. So I didn't like that strategy. But moving where am I at now? But I mean, yeah, just moving on to the actual challenge itself, the riot challenge. What did you think about this one? This was pretty brutal, bro.
The rideshare one, yeah, this is aggressive. This is aggressive even for the girls. This is
Yeah.
aggressive. Everyone has ride shields. It felt like Call of Duty Warzone for a second. Just running around with ride shields. This It's almost like a Royal Rumble. Everyone has a ride shield trying to push each other. Push the other members of the other team outside of the arena. Man standing wins, right? Obviously, we talked a little bit earlier how the gray team and the blue team and the gray team are going to be working together to get the red team out first, and they do that. They team up. They get that. They get the. They're really aggressive and they get the red team out of there.
Mhm.
They even end up giving Tori a bloody nose. That's how aggressive
Yeah.
they were. But when you have 5 people ganging up on one or 2 people, and they even isolated some of them at a certain point, and was ganging up on them. So I can see how there was a lot of bloody noses and things of that nature. And it was just interesting to watch. And then we also saw Laurel at the end try to throw it, but it's like at that point, like you said, you talked so many times about she don't have the numbers. So I think one thing we didn't mention was Sarah and Laurel also stated that, hey, the only way we can do this is to not look like we're throwing it. That way we just outperform Cara Maria, and then maybe we can get Luke to be on our side. But I think we talked about this as well. The way this game is set up, if you don't have the alliance, there's really nothing you can do. If you self sabotage, you're gonna lose. Even if you win, they're gonna. I mean, the only way you can protect yourself long term is to try to win every single daily. There's no advantage. There's no advantage to trying to throw it. So that was just interesting. And what we end up seeing for the girls, the great team won. What was your thoughts around the overall aggressiveness of the particular challenge, or and your thoughts on how the boys did?
Well, I mean, I thought the riot challenge was definitely dangerous. That's definitely one of the notes I have here. I mean, people left with bloody noses. Derek got banged up the most, I thought. But I mean, overall, great team. they whatever. Besides, outside of Laurel and Sarah, right, which they had a funny money plan, it wasn't working. I mean, it just they were the better team for this. You got Laurel, you got Abe on the other side, you got Cara Maria on the gray side as well for women. Sarah's pretty strong at this point, so I mean, I do like who they had, but. So the great team does get the win, and it's good for them. But we'll talk about that a little later. But I just want to talk about Derek. I mean,
He went out like a G for sure.
Derek, if you ask me who's the best challenger ever, I probably won't say Derek. If you ask me who's the greatest strategist ever, I certainly won't say Derek. If you ask me who's the toughest motherfucker to ever step foot on the challenge, I'll say it's Derek. Derek, there's no doubt about it, man. I mean, it's just a yet another example of
Hmm.
him going against a whole red team, right? One against three, and
Hmm.
banging and fighting for his life and never giving up.
And
And
giving him bump
he's
for
had
real.
so many of these moments that I feel like are not enough montages of just how tough this guy is and how small he was and how go up against the biggest of dogs and come out there with a chinchilla. Like, you know what I mean? Like, he would go into these jungles and come out with chinchillas. And we've seen him battle eliminations over and over. And what did you think about Derek just seeing him in this? I'm gonna get his
Yeah.
elimination record.
Definitely, he had the biggest heart. Also, like you can't be questioning that. And on his team, he's the only guy, right? So
Mm,
it was inevitable that he was going to be ganged up on. And the way he lined it up, and was like, yeah, I mean, I'm not about to step out. I just feel like I just think about if someone like Brad was in the same situation as 1-on-3. Probably would have
yep.
bowed out, to say it's pointless, right? And he like, nah, y'all gonna have to earn this one.
Yeah.
And he was giving all of them hell. Like Tyler, Dunbar, they was like, man, what is going on? They couldn't do nothing with him. They couldn't do nothing with him. And I just thought, like, for someone that's the smallest one out of all the men, to be able to stay alive in that challenge for as long as he did, it was fantastic. So yes, in that particular, the red team ended up winning that particular round, and I love the 1-on-1 for the tiebreaker. I thought that was elite. That was my favorite part of this daily challenge.
Yeah,
But
definitely.
yeah, that's how I felt.
I definitely wish we would have got Derek versus Abe rather than Brad versus Abe. But no, shout out to Derek. But yeah. So next thing I do have is Brad versus Abe. There are women rooting them on as well, right? Like that was a good
Mhm.
aspect to it. But that 1-on-1, I expected more from Brad. I saw a little fear in those eyes.
Oh, he definitely had fear in his eyes. Just talking through who was going to be. It's like one of those things. You're the person that's supposed to be going up, and you still like, yeah, who you think should go? Like you just asking, like, who y'all think should go? And in this final one, you're the only one to have enough breath to talk. You got people that's banged up and hurt. You have Tyler, who's overweight, so he's huffing and puffing, and you're asking like, yeah, who do you think should go? Like you, be the
Yeah,
leader, be the leader. And this is one of those things that I realized that he became a leader by circumstance. The only reason he's a leader is because Tori's his wife.
right.
If Tori's not there, he just fall in the line. And we might see Dunbar as a leader. Like that's how easy that can shift. And so he was terrified to go against Abram. And then he goes in there and lose. I just thought the only thing I thought was interesting was when they said send your best competitor in there, they automatically assumed to send guys in there.
Right.
Because if I was the great team, I'd just send Laura in there and force them to go against a girl. And
Yeah,
she
that's
should have
fair.
won, hands down, Just from a strategy perspective. I was like, you giving them too much, like Abram, I get it, but you giving them too much of a chance. I would just
Right.
threw Laura in there and called it a day.
Yeah, no doubt. That definitely would have been a good strategy. No, Abe showed up. Abe shows up to these sort of performances,
MVP.
and no, he's definitely had an MVP season. And I think Brad, as I'm reflecting on the season, I've seen Brad just not give a f and like really go balls out for stuff and just like it is what it is. I feel like in this season he's sort of handicapped, right? Because you have your wife there, because you just got married, this is your first time working with someone exclusively, because the last season you were in, you got in a fight and got eliminated and got embarrassed and probably talked about how you would do certain things a little better and maybe not drink as much and all of that. He's a little hinged in this season rather, and there are others when you got the thing, this draws over his neck, and he's calling it a keychain. He's unhinged Brad right there, and I don't think he's that in this season. But I'm not making any excuses for him. I'm just really
Yeah,
saying, I'm
I
just
just
pointing out the fact that I don't think he's that right now.
yeah, I disagree. I think this is the best. I think like because he has someone that's making the moves for him, because he has someone this protecting him at every step of the way. He never has to go on elimination. He has a guaranteed 2 votes in every single vote. And he doesn't have to perform out of this world because he has 2 votes. I think it's an advantage. I don't think it's a handicap at all. I think, and then the fact that he got beat up the last challenge, he's less rowdy. I think all those things culminated into the best version of Brad for this particular season. And I don't think it's a
I,
handicap. I think it's the opposite.
I agree there, but I think the handicap is in within himself, not from a game standpoint. Just who he is as a person. And when you get married and stuff like that, you feel like you have to sort of compartmentalize yourself, right? You have to be the best version of yourself. And I feel like he came into this game thinking, I need to be the best version of myself, not get into any fights like I did last time, not embarrass my wife, all of those things. And I think those things can handicap you mentally, which I mean, but it doesn't matter, right? Because they did win the championship, and this probably is the best version of him. We have someone else making the calls, you going out and just trying to perform, but he didn't perform too well in the season either. We've seen him perform better, so I just feel like it's a little give and take there, but I'm sure that he wouldn't trade this in for the world, right? I mean, it's not for the world, but he wouldn't trade this championship for the challenge world, right?
Sure. Yeah. I think it just really comes down to your perception of Brad. I don't think that highly of Brad.
Okay.
Maybe that's. I don't think that.
No,
Like
me
I think
neither.
this is on par with his performances. I don't like. I don't think. I don't never look at Brad and be like, Brad's been a top performer. I've never seen. I don't think he's dominated any seasons. And I think that the complete opposite of this is when he came back years later and he ended up being with Brittany. He was strategically all over the place.
Mm-hmm.
So I just think like he needs someone to call the shots. I think he's a above average player, and I think he's on par with that. I never thought he was that impressive. To be honest, I just thought he was a great person, good for TV. So that's why I don't think like him being less, this more reserved or anything is like just a detriment because I don't think it was that good to begin with. And
There's a
maybe
tiers.
that's my outlook on him.
What
Maybe
type
that's
of
what it
tier?
is.
What type of tier would you put him in? Because I agree. I mean, I'm not putting him with
Like a
CTs and
B.
the
He's above average.
CPs.
That's it.
All right, I'm not mad at that. I'm not mad at that.
He's not A
And
list, and you wouldn't call him average, but he's not. Like he's
and
nowhere
and
near
and
top five
what's
or top
Leroy?
10.
What's Leroy?
Leroy is average to below average.
Okay, I'm just
Average to
asking. I just
below.
want on the
You
record.
know how I feel about Leroy. Leroy's
I
not good
got it. That's
anymore.
why I thought it was a good. So what is Tyler?
Tyler's a champion. Tyler B grade. You know what I'm saying? Honestly, I'm taking Tyler over Brad 10 times out of 10.
I get
I
it,
don't
but
care.
what
I
tier
don't
is
care
it?
what you
What
say.
what tier is Tyler?
He's above Brad.
So give me the tier. I just want it on record. Give me the tier.
If Brad's a B, like Tyler's B plus. The only reason I would say A, when I say A, I would say West, Johnny, CT, Jordan. Like if the tier under them is people that's been champions, but it's also been really, really good. I also will pick like Darrell and Landon in tier A as well, Turbo in tier A, and then you have tier B. Like Derek would end up being a tier B player to me.
Okay.
You know, Tyler, and like maybe they even push Brad's like closer down to C, and then Leroy can definitely fall into below average to me,
Right.
like that
Okay.
easily. So like maybe even a B is too high for Brad. Maybe he's just average. But I just think when I think of average, I think of like some of these people just show up to the show and they're just useless. And I want to say he's better than that. So like that's like between that B tier where you have champions and Brad is a champion, but like and yeah, but he's definitely not someone that like I expects much from. So that's my thought on it.
Listen, bro, I have no disagreement. I just thought that would be really good to make a clip out of, and I think you're spot on. I think you're spot. All the tiers sound about right to me. Like, except when you moved him down as like C for Brad, I was like, okay, that sounds about right. Because like, no, I don't think he's a B, but I do. B's are the Fringe Darrell. Maybe
Yeah.
I can see you put him in A, but Fringe Darrell. The Landons or whatever like that. That sort of tier with the Derricks. So yeah. So
Cause then you
C
got
C sounds
Kenny
right.
and you got Evan and you got
Kenny,
so
Evan,
many people.
exactly. Those are
Like
A and Bs.
these, yeah, like so yeah, C, maybe a C player. But that's
All right.
why I thought like Tori just helped him be better because he's just not. I just didn't think he was that great. I thought he was just a great person,
Yeah.
great TV.
All right, so we get to the end of that, and we know who wins that challenge. Is the great team. They come away with it, and they hate each other for it, but whatever. But Paula sees a writing on the wall that she's about to go in the gulag the way Dunbar is teamed up with Tori and Brad. And yeah, it looks that way. But I mean, how do you think that she reacted? What do you think about her reaction to this?
She's a hypocrite.
Yep.
She made it seem like Dunbar stabbed her in the back when she voted for him first.
Mm-hmm.
And I understand that they was passing notes like they're in second grade, but I don't care about the notes. Like you operated as if I'm supposed to protect you, but you can throw me in because of a performance, and we're supposed to have each other's back, and then you're gonna act heartbroken like I just backstabbed you. Like, no, I don't. I think like at the end of the day, Tori is much more of value to Dunbar than Paul at this point. If we want to just call a spade a spade,
Yeah, for
she's
sure.
connected to Brad, so she's
Right.
more value. So there's no reason why I'm voting Tori in over you. So we solidify now as when it comes down to these numbers, 3-2.
Yeah.
And I'm
Nah.
not mad. He did the right thing. He did the right thing. And then I think he shouldn't have felt bad about it because she voted for him first. So like that's my thing about it. I think she's hypocritical, and I didn't. I mean, I don't feel bad for her losing because I think Tori was strategic in making sure she thought this could happen, and she got ahead of it. And that's what made it even easier for Dunbar to vote for Paula because he was like, Tori just went the elimination before. I think like from no matter how you want to
Yeah.
justify it, it made
Right.
sense for Paula to go in. And so that's why I just thought it was overblown as one of those things like you tired of losing, you're not tired of not going to a final and all that, and you're taking it out on Dunbar.
Yeah, that's what it was for me. I think that Dunbar shouldn't have anything to do with this. Like, girl, it's your time. Like, Tori just went in. She won. She came back. It's your turn. There's no one else to go. Like, get over yourself. And she just had that fear. And Laurel even said that. Someone else said it maybe, but the fear in Paula's eyes, just having to go into that elimination. She's dealt with a lot of like losing right before the final or in the final at this point. So she just had fear in her eyes, and she didn't,
She
whatever.
went
Like
against Emily too.
yeah, no doubt. But if you're a grown up here, a grown up in the challenge world, hey, it's time to go in. It's only so many people left,
I
like men
agree.
and women. There's only two girls left. One just went in last week. Come on, get your ass up and get ready to go or win, so you can avoid that. But
Hope you're right.
yeah. So I didn't have too much for Paula. Get that whiny shit up out of here. She's definitely giving Karen vibes for sure.
Yeah.
Right there, I didn't like that. So, but yeah, Paula. Spoiler alert: Emily beats Paula in the elimination. It's like, of course she did. So, I did hear Jen though, and I'm liking Jen's energy. By the way, I'm liking Jen's energy. No, just from a standpoint of like supporting her teammates. I mean, she's up there like rooting them on. Come on, D. Come on, Derek. Dig deep. All of that, like telling Emily, like squash her. Like, come on. I like Jen's energy as a teammate. Like she's a good teammate. I feel like she's gonna lay down the law. Like as far as the root, like this is what we're doing. She's gonna be doing that no matter if she's sleeping with someone on the other team or what. She's gonna stick to that, her alliance, and she's also gonna root for her people. And she's working out. I just kind of like this might be my favorite Gen season, so I just wanted to point that out. I had that in my notes, but yeah, Emily beat the hell out of Paula.
Every season she's on is my favorite Gen season. I'll tell you that much.
Okay, I gotcha. And Derek versus Tyler. Big boy Tyler, man. What'd you think about that elimination, Derek versus Tyler, in the final elimination before the final?
I don't know. I feel like I mean, obviously, I mean, they keep saying Tyler's big, but from the TV perspective, I can't see how big he is. I'm the only reason I know he's big is because Johnny's saying he's big, Derek's saying he's big. You really can't see how big he is, pause. But I just think that in this is the same pull me over challenge that we've seen Ty pass out in. And so I thought like, okay, maybe Derek can try to like gas him out, and if he can tire him out, then I can see a scenario when Derek can win. So although Tyler won the first round, I still had hope that Derek can pull it out. But ultimately, too much weight. And they also talk about Tyler play sports too. So he's not even just a heavy set guy. He's a heavy athletic set guy. So yeah, he ended up just pulling through, and I thought it was a great performance for him.
Yeah, I thought, going into it, I would have. I'm a betting man, right? I stay with my spread stuff against the spread. Derek is 60% in eliminations. If you're 60% or greater, like I'm willing to bet on you. Like I'm gonna win 6 out of 10 times. Like that's a good bet. But I definitely would have, if I'm, as a betting man, I definitely would have took Derek to win. But I think this is about an even matchup. Maybe the odds would be, but Tyler definitely should have been the favorite considering the elimination. And Tyler was just very driven. Derek got beat up earlier that day. He's the only male left. It's just a lot of like things to go into that. But I mean, Tyler was ready for these moments. These last two moments, Tyler was just ready for it, and he executed. He's the bigger guy. Even Derek was upset the fact that he had to go against Tyler, who was so
Mhm.
big, and you know. It was just Derek's time to go, but Derek was at this moment he had won three straight his last three challenges, and this would have been four straight, which would have matched Darrell. But Tyler ended that in this one. So that was my takeaway. That Tyler showed up. He was ready. He should have been the leader of that team, but he wasn't in that alliance. And I think he showed up, showed out, and took out a dog. So kudos to Tyler, man. Champion of many time, multiple time champion.
No, definitely. Like I said, I think Tyler did amazing, and it just proved why he's a champion. Being able to take out Derek because I think we would have seen so many other people lose to Derek. So
For
just
sure.
kudos to him.
All right, and as
Now
we
the finals are
leave,
set.
yeah,
I think
yes,
the finals are
it
set.
definitely is. And as we leave, the great team is imploding. They hate each other. They're being very vocal about it now that they're in the final. Nobody has a problem saying how they feel, saying how they hate each other's performances, and all of that. And it might work for them. It might work for them going into this final. So we'll see. And let's get into episode 10 now of the challenge. Can we rewatch podcast? The challenge, season
The
20,
final.
Cutthroat, episode 10, the final episode. And oh, oh yeah, we get right into the final. Yeah, because the end of episode 10, I mean the beginning of 10 was I guess the eliminations. So
Mhm.
let's get into the actual paintball, or not the paintball, but the actual final. The
Mhm.
first part of the final is this paintball challenge. Did you like that?
That was one. It was weird.
Yeah.
Because like where they had this the shoot, it was like they was trying to get you to get shot in your private spots. And I don't know if any of you guys at home ever got hit with a paintball. They hurt,
Yeah.
and it was pretty close range. So like we seen Luke, have some battle wounds. So I thought it was an interesting way to start the final. But I was thinking like I know that hurts, but also like from a strategy was that this shoot 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 shoot. I've been like thinking to myself like maybe just volunteer someone just hey the most effective way is for me to shoot as fast as possible. You might get hit a lot, but it's the final. We're here, right? So yeah, that's my thoughts on it. What was your thoughts when you how to set the tone?
I didn't love it starting off with paintball. I really don't. Maybe if you do it like later down the line, like on some like right before nightfall. I don't know. I didn't love it, but whatever. I think that the part that I'm really stuck on in this final as they're running is the fact that Tori can actually run. So I mean, she can actually run a little bit, so that's chill. But I think it's Abe. Abe is the biggest part of this final for me, the biggest aspect because this final isn't too long, right? Like from a viewer
It's
standpoint, it's
not.
not very long at all. But one of the things that we see early is this: like by the time they go down that little slide and have to go into that like whatever dough or powder, Abe is exhausted. Abe is looking like Easy did in the Gauntlet 3
Hmm.
final, and the weight doesn't have nothing to do with this. This is just someone who is either like high dehydrated, gas, whatever, but he's not seeing things well. And Abe is sort of out of it from the very early parts of this final.
Yeah, I thought it was like I don't know if it was even giving like concussion symptoms, right? Like
Yeah,
he was pale, his lips was white, he was throwing up all over the place.
all over.
Um, One thing I didn't like this was how Sarah was like, "You would have thought that would have been me."
I know,
I'm
such a
like,
that
this is
classic
like
annoying.
timing. Like my man's really like almost he's essentially fighting for his life right now, and you
Yeah,
think this is a great time to kind of throw that jab in there.
right.
So I just didn't like that part of it. But also, I'm also thinking that the only way this team was going to win was on the back of Abram. So just seeing him, just what I'm saying, unfortunately get disqualified because he was just not suitable to continue. It was crazy because now we got one team that don't have any guys, and now we have the strongest competitor on the gray team, the MVP of the season, end up getting eliminated, disqualified. So
Yeah.
just a crazy turn of events.
And then we went on to see Sarah start to not feel well and also DQ from this and held her team up in the midst of that.
Yeah, my thing is we know how Abram performs, so we're gonna give him a little bit of grace. He's the first one to go down, but once we get
Mm-hmm.
to the second person that wants to fall and pass out and they can't finish, I 100% understand them. Like we can't, like you can't go. We can't sit here and just chit chat with you.
Yeah.
And it almost comes to the point where TJ just has to step in and say, "Yeah, she can't go." Like I don't want to sit here because I mean, in watching it, only seemed like a few minutes, but I'm sure it was much longer than that. And they're like, "Bro, we're just falling further and further behind." Um, so yeah, and
Yeah.
they have to carry this gurney too, which I know is tiring, and it's built for men to be able to carry, and maybe teams of more than 2 to 3 people be able to carry. And because of Abram and Sarah being medically disqualified, now Laurel and Luke
Luke.
have to carry Maria by themselves. Which I
Yeah.
know that was a daunting task. We ended up seeing Laura in tears,
Yeah.
just trying to fight through it. And I felt for it because I know it's probably tough.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, definitely not. Well, Sarah goes out. I mean, the red team just did well from the jump in this final, right? They got out to a good lead. They the everything that they needed to do, they took care of it pretty quickly. Shout out to Tyler, just being very clutch in clutch moments. And I thought that the fact that they just started off so well and the competition that was behind them, right? It was Laurel, Luke, and Cara Maria with a super delay on them because their teammates got sick, and then you got Jen and Emily, and it's just like they can't win this final. So looking back on this final and the fact that spoiler alert, red team wins. Brad, Brad, Tori, Dunbar, and Tyler, they all walk away with the win, split of 120,000. I think they had a little bit more in their team bank account as
160 because I
well.
got 40 each.
Right, right. So they had 160, but 40,000 each. But I mean, looking back on this final, I feel like this is one of the weaker ones as far as the competitors and how the teams were built and the totality of it.
Yeah, for sure. Like I said, we talked about one team losing 2 competitors, and then the other team only having women. And we're not trying to. I'm not trying to say the women couldn't do well because I mean they did really good to not have the gentlemen, but it's a disadvantage. Just point blank. Period. And then also I think that this final was the reason why we've seen the finals evolve in the future because we've seen the red team take off and there was no challenges that kind of like was equalizers.
Yeah,
There was no way realistically, even if there were men on these other teams or some of these other teams didn't lose, they probably still would have not been able to catch up because the way that this final was structured. And so I think that's why I know it's not the most popular thing, but when we think about the newer challenges, now you see stages where we reset and you'll
yeah,
give certain people time bonus because for ratings, you hate to have people watch a whole season and then we just see one team just take off and never
yeah,
and it's never close, right? So that's why they had it now and they're set up like, oh, we have this stage, we're reset. Okay, this team has a 1 minute advantage because it continues to give other people the opportunity to keep it interesting, at least to the end. So I think this is one of the main reasons why they had to come up with that, just and involve the final challenge.
yeah. And a really good season. A pretty good season
Yeah,
rather.
solid.
And
I enjoyed it.
yeah, didn't love the final. Like we said, they took things a little more seriously going forward, and the evolution of the challenge has done very well. But I did want to point out though in this final, the blue team caused some shit luck at the end. They really did. Like Johnny having to go against an upset CT, and Derek right before having to go against 1 against 3, and then go into elimination against Tyler. Like all those things just did not. I mean, that's the game though. That's kind of how it goes. Sometimes you need luck on your side, and the blue team did not have that. But I liked them in the final with Bananas Derek,
the
Jen, and
Jen.
Emily. I like that team.
That's
I
a
think
good
that they
point.
can
That
win.
that would have been a good team. I like that's a
Yeah.
great point. I love that. I think that would have been huge. Let's talk like what's one thing you would have changed about this season? Like if it was one thing you could have did to add or take away to make
Come
this
on,
particular
bro.
season a little bit better. What would it be?
You know what it is, man. I'm calling CT from the jump. Like, come on to this season, bro. I need better stars. I need Darrell. Maybe not Darrell because he just beat somebody up the season before. But I just need more star power. I need Wes. I need Kenny. Come on, guys, come on. Like, and I understand. I need Evan as well. I just need Coral. Come on, Coral. I need all of those people that are going to stir things up. And I
You
just
got to
felt
rewatch
like
the
there
season
were too
too.
many Lukes. There were too many Dans. There were one girl at the beginning of this season, bro. I couldn't even tell you her name. It was like
Me neither. I
Isla,
know exactly who you're talking
Yeah,
about
I'm
too.
like, who? Who the fuck is this? So I just needed more star power. I think that would be the one thing that I'd take away that I would have implemented in this season.
Gotcha.
What
Good
about you?
takeaway. I think that if we're gonna keep everything the same as far as game model, as far as how the people are going to be voted in, and it's going to be your team, and it's going to be anonymous. I would say whoever wins the elimination, they can't get voted in again. The next elimination, so no back-to-back eliminations.
Okay, I respect that, especially if you're working within a team. I like that.
Because the way it's set up, I mean, because in the group and everybody, the individuals now, it's like so much can happen, but because it's teams, and I think you have alliances and within your team,
Right.
it makes it so like we've seen so many eliminations of Camilla. We've seen so many eliminations of Brandon. It was we didn't see any heavy hitters go against other heavy hitters. So like maybe if the two losing teams, instead of them choosing who's going to be the person that goes in from their team, maybe they choose who's going to go in from the other team.
Right.
Something like that. So something that would have made it so there's a little bit more guessing, because one of the things I said when we talked about it a little bit earlier is I just think when I look back in retrospect, all these eliminations, none of them was really close. Like the most epic one we seen was the backpack, but we also saw that be a crush too, right?
Right.
So it's just I didn't think we seen a lot of competitive daily challenges, and I think because the game model was kind of set up to continue to throw the weakest people on your team in there, and there was no reason why you would send Abram down there. So this whole season we didn't get to see Abram, we didn't get to see Brad. Like we seen Johnny at the last time, but we only really got to see Johnny is because he had to vote himself in because his team dwindled down to that level.
Yeah.
So it's the game is set up for the best people not to go in elimination. I think that ruins this excitement in the episodes leading up to the finals.
I totally agree with that, and I mean that's the season. That is the season that we got, and we got a new season of Cutthroat coming up this August 5th on Wednesday. So we're getting ready for that. I don't know what time it comes out, but so we're just getting ready for
3
that.
a.m.
We got another season in the books now. That is it for the challenge, season 20 Cutthroat rewatch. As we got through 10 episodes again, Scrim. Shout out to that. We did it again, man. Another season in
Yeah,
the
for sure.
books.
It was a blast.
And appreciate you all for listening and tuning in. And we're just going to see you guys very soon with another show.